Hello, good morning, brothers sisters. My name is Jane. 上人 give me 法号明语 means universe. I commissioned back in 2 years time, 2017. Today I'm very fortunate to be able to share my experience in the recent October Philippines mission. So to begin with, maybe I play a video just to do an introduction on this treatment incidents. Yeah. This is the video.
So that this wheelchair-bound patient has returned for follow-up treatment. At the area for TCM treatment, this TCM doctor from Singapore is very grateful that this wheelchair-bound patient has returned for follow-up treatment. She helped the patient to show her appreciation. On the day before, the patient's husband came with a patient who has not been able to walk for 8 years due to a stroke. After more than an hour of treatment, she could stand up. However, she still needs to undergo further treatment. We apply acupuncture to give her energy, and we will give her confidence. If you form good affinities with her and she trusts you, she will have good treatment results. To treat a patient, it is important to heal them mentally. The perseverance of the doctor and the medical volunteers have given the patient confidence. Yeah, very good, very good. The doctors help the patient stand up on her shoes. The patient remarks that this is the first time she has met such a gentle doctor. She is a doctor full of love. She loves patients more than mothers do. The patient herself, as she is very grateful to the medical volunteers. Having gained confidence, she will continue to practice steadily and work hard on rehabilitation.
This is actually a patient that have a successful treatment this time around. Actually, when she first walked into the TCM room, her age is 48 years old on the wheelchair. I have a strong affinity with her. I truly believe that because when I first see her, I just feel so sorry for her being wheelchair bound. And when I take a look at her medical record, it showed that she has a stroke when she was pregnant. And then she about 6 months, and she walked with a limpy left side. Okay. The voice is soft. Okay. She was walking limpy, just like a typical stroke patient during her pregnancy. So after delivered to her baby boy, luckily the baby boy was normal, but she had a high fever shortly after her pregnancy. That resulted in her unable to walk, and she was wheelchair bound since then, and up to the time when she came to see us, she has already 8 years gone. She couldn't able to even stand up. So the moment when I see her, I feel very sorry for her. I guess it's the kind of, I think the kind of compassion and the bonding between her and she and I. So I just feel very strongly that I want to help her. So through translation from sisters, the local Philippine sister, Li Jun, I asked her one thing when I first talked to her. I asked whether she want to stand up. I sincerely looked into her eye, and she replied me firmly, say she said she want to stand up. So I say, then please trust me. With the trust you give me, I am sure I can treat you, and let's work together, and let's work together, and I hope I'm actually confident that you can stand up today. So after 1 hour plus of motivation, as well as acupuncture, and I teach her some functional exercise that she has to do after the treatment on a daily basis so that she can continue to strengthen her weakened muscles for so many years and able to stand up in long run. So after 1 hour plus of treatment, and she able to stand up, even it is only for a few seconds. But that is the effect that I wanted to achieve. I wanted strongly that to prove to her that she can stand up, that will gain her the strong faith, and she can, with that strong faith, she can continue to do the functional exercise on a regular basis. Then she can recover eventually. So the successful treatment is mainly because she has a strong faith with me, and I have a strong affinity. So when these two things work together, the miracles happens. That reminds me of one story, recent master story about Alanda and Sri Putra. The 上人说故事 that short master stories was saying that one day master after partake for they walked to the watermelon plantation. So they were resting under a tree, and Buddha said, Alanda, please go, and because from far they see this plantation, there's watermelon. Master say, Buddha say, please go and ask for a watermelon because it's very thirsty and it's very hot. So Alanda went to the plantation, walked towards the plantation and saw a lady there. And she humbly asked for a watermelon. But the lady was very unhappy. She just doesn't like to see Alanda and say, no, go away. There's no watermelon. So Alanda was a bit disappointed and went back to Buddha. So Buddha then asked Sariputra to go and ask for a watermelon again. So this time out, Sariputra went, and surprisingly, this lady from far, when she saw Sariputra walking towards her, she was so happy, and she plucked the biggest watermelon and gave it to Sariputra. So Sariputra was a bit amazed, dismayed, and brought back the watermelon and passed it to Buddha, and asked Buddha why she was so welcoming to me, and she just disliked Alanda. So Buddha said, because in many life, the Alanda and Sariputra was a monk. They walked past a dead cat. So when both of them see this dead cat, Alanda just walked past and do nothing. But Sariputra actually stopped by and actually buried the cat. So it was because of this affinity, the karma, the good karma that they have built. So that's why the lady was reborn. The cat was reborn as the lady working in the plantation. And the moment that she saw Sariputra, she just have unexplainable likes towards Sariputra and just want to do whatever things Sariputra asked for. So the same thing goes. I saw this lady. I don't know her. It was my first time seeing her, but I just feel so strongly in helping her. So I strongly believe that what Master said is 100% true. We must build good affinity with people that we come across with, because that will take us a long way, and we were able to help one another to achieve Buddha Nirvana. So also another thing that I learned from this karmic connection is the karmic connection is very amazing, but actually it's very logical. There are things that you just cannot force it through. Things, if you have a good affinities, you have a cause and effect, it will just work that way. Because I remember back in 2 years ago when I was commissioned, we went back to, after the commissioning, we went back to Abort. We were having breakfast with Master. So all those overseas commissioner and teamers will sit together close to master's big tables. So we were sitting there, and there was a vulnerable who actually asked us one person to go to sit on master's table. So we all are being very humble, and we think that we are not qualified to sit at master table. So everybody was looking around our small tables and see who is the one that's most senior. So all of us just look at each other. Then suddenly a very junior sister just jumped over and to sit with the master table. Then we're thinking, oh, how come this very relatively junior sister just go over and sit? Then we said, okay, never mind. Then we just sit at our own table, and then we have breakfast together. And apparently the junior sister who sit in master table, she was the furthest away from master's table. From far, she didn't have much so-called interaction with master. But after the breakfast, surprisingly, actually we were surprised that actually master walked past our table. We will all stand up and respectfully bow to master. Master actually came in front of us. Our distance is only about an arm length. So master was asking us, oh, where are you all from? Oh, from Singapore. So you are very young and must be more diligent in serving your own country. So we were very happy because we never have a chance to get so close to masters besides being commissioned. So what I learned is karma is very interesting, and it cannot be forced through. If you have a good ties, things will happen, it's natural cause. So we have to take things as it is, be it good or bad. So if it is bad, we just cleanse ourselves for the bad karma. If it is good, let's rejoice over it and continue to cultivate more good karma with sentient beings. So another, I think the last thing that I would like to share is another analogy about good karma is good karma type is very, very important. This summer when I was in Philippines mission, I all along wanted to see anatomy. That means to see the patients when during the operations, but I never have a chance. So this time around in Philippine mission, I happened to have a chance to walk past the OT theater, so-called the classroom converted OT theater. So there was a senior sister, a nurse, who came out and asked, can I come down to acupuncture on her because she has some triggered fingers issues, and she didn't have the time to walk up to the TCM room for treatment. So she invited me over, so therefore I bring all the acupuncture equipment and go down to operating theater and help her to treat there. And because I think we have a good affinity with the doctors there, so Dr. Evan actually came over and said, hey, Sister Jane, do you want to take a look at the operating case? I said, oh yeah, more than welcome, because I want to see the operating case for many, many years. Back in Batam stay, I think in 2003 that time, but I didn't have a chance to get so close to OT theater. So when I went there, and apparently another nurse, which I'm not a senior nurse, which I'm not so familiar with her, but I guess it must be because of past life good affinity. She actually came out and asked me, do you want to come in and assist in the operation? So I said, oh, fantastic. So of course I'm willing to. So that is the time where I actually have a chance to help to hold on to the forces and all the equipment and literally witness how they operate on a 17-year-old girl who have a in her breast for about 1 hour plus. So again, I truly believe that because of the good affinity, we can have a lot of things that will go the ways we wish, but we just do not know why. But there is always a reason for that. So my conclusion is, if possible, we must, all of us must build good, we must go among the crowd and build good and serve them and build good affinity with all of them so that we can progress spiritually smoother, and I guess we can actually attain Buddhahood in soonest possible time. Can I just share one photo, which is just now the case? Yeah, this is the photo after the Philippine mission. This is the patient who managed to stand up for about a few seconds, but that boosted her confidence. And actually the next day, the husband pushed her again to come and see me because I want to have continuous treatment during the precious 2 days mission over there. So the husband actually told me, because she witnessed herself that she actually can stand up, that afternoon she ran back home. She actually diligently stand up a few times, holding on to the window bar to practice standing. So that was the things that actually I wanted strongly, which actually it helps the patient. And you see the little boy next to it. The little boy is actually the 8 years old kids. The boy that she was successfully delivered and was normal. This was the boy that has grown up quite naughty, but I'm glad that the whole family is here, and then they have confidence. But I think I will seek the Philippine sisters help, Philippines volunteers help to pay a visit to them if possible, to check out, because we are all sentient beings. We are those all human beings. Sometimes because of our slop and topper, we might be slack. So we need a lot of encouragement, and I hope our Philippine volunteers can help me to do that. Yeah. So with that, I think I will end my sharing, and I will let another sister, Sister Shi Yan. She is newly commissioned in this year, about a month ago, and she has a lot of joy. Let's welcome Shi Yan, sister.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I hope you can hear me clearly. Yeah, my name is Shi Yan. Master actually gave me Fahao Ming Yan. In Tzu Chi, this is my first time to share my experiences in English. I'm quite nervous actually. Hope you all can understand well. So 13 November is unforgettable day in my life. I actually gotten the commission, the blessing from Master. Feel very touched to the ceremony. Remember, before we went back to Taiwan, all brothers and sisters actually advise us that don't cry when we actually in front of Master. Because the moment is very precious, we can get 2-3 seconds to say something to Master closely. So I remember that. Okay. So the day before the ceremony, 10月19, she realized that Master was unwell. Sister and Master tried to get Master rest more and not to come. As we know, Master, her compassion, she insists to come for commission ceremony. So we have actually advised to change the way how we clapping the hand to reduce the volume. Instead of clapping like the usual way we do this, so we have to change the way to do like this, so that can minimize the volume, so that Master can do better. In the ceremony, when Master stepped into the hall, I remember I was not crying, but my heart was with tears. Okay, so when queuing to get the commission from Master, I remember my mind is reflecting to all the past on what we know about how Master get the Tzu Chi up all this. So when I first saw Master so close, when I face to face with Master, I got the courage from Master. I remember Master actually asked me to 3 words, 多精进. So I feel very blessed to can get the commission from Master. And this ceremony is really give a lot of courage to everyone. Of course, this is not the end. It's just a start of we are here to become to do the Tzu Chi, to do all the volunteer work. So I feel very gratitude that today I'm not alone in Tzu Chi. I got the chance to get the commission It's not just me alone to do so many things. No, it's actually with all the support and the advices from the sister and brothers that give me a lot of encouragement to help me. Yeah. So, and also Master, even though she's very weak, and she still come to give us the commissions. This is really something that very encouraged, and I would like to use this opportunity to share my experiences, to encourage more sisters and brothers, and or even my family. I hope that we can all together to work as a team to involve and to do all the good. So this is definitely just a start. I'm looking forward my involvement and more in this. And I remember what Master told me, and this will always in my heart forever. That's all actually for my sharing of today. Yeah, so a week in Taiwan, not just for the one day of the ceremony, I feel very gratitude to the our Taiwan sisters and brothers. They do a lot of preparation for us. Remember, they even changed the way when Master commissioned us to actually give the name tag for us to use the magnet instead of using the usual clip. So the detailness and that we got from the Taiwan sister brothers, I felt very, 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 the gratitude and thanks to all their effort. And we have so many people to actually come back to Taiwan. So feel very thankful to all the sisters and brothers in Taiwan. Yeah. In this throughout the 1 week, we learn a lot of knowledge. We some knowledge that we already know, that we got the chance to what we always say, 就法心知, to learn back, to think about what we know from how Master start from zero to now the Tzu Chi. It's definitely not just one people, but it's with all the effort, with all the teamwork that we got. Hope in this moving forwards, I also can be someone can inspire sisters and brothers to work together. That is really something that I give myself a task, my yuan, to continue to in the Tzu Chi. So that's all for my sharing. Let me pass over to Sister Jen. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Sister Shi Yan. In fact, Shi Yan is a very diligent Pusa. She just commissioned and she started to take up more responsibility in Singapore. Let me see. Hang on. Yeah. I would like to invite another sister, Shi Ying. She actually also newly commissioned this year, and then after her commissioning, she spontaneously went back to about for 10 days voluntary work. So I hope let's welcome her to share her experience.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. I didn't prepare anything. I was just being asked to share like 1 minute ago. And so I will just share my experience and my thoughts of having a very good opportunity to stay in abroad for 10 days. And before we reached Taiwan, well, on the way to Taiwan in the flight, I just learned that the sisters, because most of us only stay in abode for maybe 1-2 days. But I know that there's one person who is going to stay abroad for 10 days, same as me from Singapore, but I don't know who is the person. But very coincidence, the sister sitting next to me during the flight. So I was like, okay, it's you. We are going to stay in abroad together for 10 days. So nice to meet you. So when we reach abroad after the commissioner certification, the moment I reach abroad, my heart feels very joyful. I feel like finally I return back to home, and this is what I've been waiting for very long. I finally have a chance to stay in abroad and then live together with all the Changzhu Shifu. And then we start my 10 days living in abroad. So during these 10 days, I have a very good chance to experience different kind of tasks. So the first 2 days, we are actually helping the masters to clean the 晒衣场, the place that we hang all our clothes and wash our clothes. And then after that, I also have the chance to go to help in the kitchen. So actually, I don't really know how to cook, but very good experience to work in the kitchen to really cut some food and also clean some plates. And then even more joyful, I have a good opportunity to go and plant vegetable. I also never really planted anything in my life. The only thing I planted is the cactus during my school days, but it was died within 1 week. Yeah, so when I planted the vegetables, I was really nervous. I was keep saying good things to the vegetables, like, can you really grow nicely, take care of yourself. I also will plant you with very good heart, yeah, because I so wanted the vegetable to really grow up really well, so that they all can eat the veggie. So when I planted, the first day when we planted veggie, actually all the veggie looks like this, like sleeping. Then in my heart, I was so nervous. I was asking Shifu, what happened to the veggie? Why is all sleeping? Then Shifu keep assuring me don't worry. After we water the plant, the veggie will stand up. So after we water the plant, the veggie still not standing up. Then I was like, oops. Then I still asking Shifu, got chance or not? Shifu said, don't worry, it will stand up. Really, after 1 day, we water maybe 2 times. Some of we call it 小白菜, the veggie really stand out already. Then I was like, oh, I'm so happy. But they are still, we still planted 2 different kind of veggies. Though all of the veggies still sleeping, really sleeping, lie on the ground. Then Shifu said, yeah, this one we have to put more effort. Then I also keep talking to the veggie yeah, stand up, yeah, 乖乖. Then after a few days, before I came, the day that I came back to Singapore, another sister who was still in abroad, she sent me the picture. Then really those who were still sleeping before I came back really stand up already. Because I said, yeah, this is the first time I planted veggie. So dear little veggie baby, can you please give me some confidence? Yeah, I really wanted you all, because we planted we have 10 rows of veggie. So actually it's quite a lot. If all planted never really get to grow up, then I will feel really, really bad for it. So it really gave me confidence. And then from that on, actually, I realized that we really appreciate what we have on our table. From small little things, the seeds, for it to grow up, you need to plant. Actually, it's quite tiring to plant all the veggies to be honest. Yeah, then we still need to like really a mother take care of kids. We really are worried. You have to grow out nicely, and then until the days that we can harvest the veggie, and then we cook it and then onto our table. Because in the past, veggie is just veggie, right? On my plate, I just eat it, and then without thoughts. The only thoughts I have in my mind is like, whether it tastes nice or not, or looks nice or not. That's it. But after that experience, I actually really appreciate every single things, because having a chance to work in the kitchen also, before we have prepare all the dishes, we have to clean all the plates. Then we have to so-called soak it in the hot water, and then like there are so many steps from steps 1 to maybe to step 50 to make sure that we really have good hygiene. I can say that the hygiene standard in our Jing's kitchen is really high standard. I was like, wow, I was really amazed. It's not like anyhow we just give you the veggie, but we really people really take care of all the hygiene, and then how they place the veggie on the table. The chopstick has to be on the right so that everyone can take it easily. The spoon also have to be on the right side, because for easy. Then everything is placed according to like 人体工学. What is it called? Ergonomic, I think. Yeah, so it's like everything was done with very sincere and careful thoughts, so that everyone can have their just one simple meal. But that very simple meal actually comes with a lot of effort from a lot of people. So yeah, I really cannot take things for granted from this whole experience, not just in our meal, in everything we have in our life, every single day, from your clothes, your water. We have to really like what Shangren said, we have to treasure what we have. It's not just that you have the money, you buy it, you own it, but how everything comes about. Everything is actually connected to our environment. We are in debt to the environment. Recently, I heard someone said, when we come to this world, although we do not do any bad things, it's just our basic responsibility. If we do not do any good things, in fact, we are in debt to the environment, to the whole earth, because we are using the resources, the natural resources. So as a human being, we have to and we must give back to our earth, to our community, to all the to what we actually utilize all the resources. If we do not do good things, we are actually in debt. It's not just that we do not do bad things, then that's it, we are good enough to go. No, we must do good things, because whoever as a human being will come into this earth, the moment we step into this world, we actually start to utilize the resources in this earth. So we are in debt to this earth. We must give back. So I think that's all for my sharing. I will pass on to another sister. Thank you very much.
Hello. Thanks for Sister Shi Ying's sharing. Very interesting. Actually, I have to salute to her because she was impromptu, be asked to share. Next, I would like to introduce Sister Cui Lian. She is actually Singapore's He Qi leader, and she was tasked by Master to lead the Sri Lanka volunteers. So she has a lot of experience leading Sri Lanka's volunteers, and let's hear from her directly by now. Let's welcome Sister Cui Lian.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. I'm Cui Lian from Singapore. Yeah, I really, since 2013, Master, asked me to go Sri Lanka, you know, because my affinity with Sri Lanka was in 2004 after the tsunami. And I joined the second batch of volunteers who go there for disaster relief. You know, looking at, you know, witnessing, you know, the destruction of the, you know, tsunami, you know, it's really, you know, it's really, how to say, a shock, you know, because the tsunami, you know, really, when I see, you know, the earth was destroyed by tsunami, I can feel that, you know, it's just like, you know, is the earth, the skin, is that like our skin being tear off from our body. I can really feel the pain. So during that, during the period of the when I was there, you know, every day we sing the song Yong Bao Chang Sen, and then there's a phrase that say, you know, when we have to walk, when we walk, we have to walk very lightly, and then so that the earth don't feel the pain. But when I saw, you know, the earth was being destroyed by tsunami, I can really feel the pain of the earth, you know, of the earth's surface. And remember that time we go by batches, and I was a second batch. That was in January, 5th of January 2005. I went there, I saw, you know, I made a vow, you know, saying that if there is if Sri Lanka need, I will come. I will definitely come. And then I think now I'm you know, realizing my vow. 2013, when Brother David Liu, I would say, Brother David, before that, Brother David Liu was in charge of Sri Lanka, but 2012, he's no more a CEO in Singapore. So for about one or 2 years, in Sri Lanka, there isn't anybody that really you know, concerned about them. So Master said, you know, 2012, there was a batch of Sri Lankan volunteer that go back to Jing board and met Master, and then they say, please, Master, we need help from Singapore. And I was there, and Master say, Hualien, and you were there many times, you know them quite well. Why don't you go there and see what you can do? You know, she said very softly, and then I say, okay, you know, and that okay, it really start my journey with Sri Lankan in Sri Lanka. Yeah, because of the cultural language differences, we face a lot of course, a lot of challenges and difficulties. And I really thank you for Sister Lisa Chong that you know, come with me to we two of us always go together. We are like just like twins, unidentical twins that when you see her, you can see me, or when you see me, you can see her. Both of us, you know, every year we go there about 4 to 5 times, and then really start from really very beginning. We started to go do volunteer training and helping them to understand master teaching and all those things. Yeah, of course, because of the cultural difference, and then the for me, I'm a very, I would say I'm very efficient. I could say I'm very efficient, and I work very fast, walk very fast, eat very fast. But you know, when I met Sri Lankan, they are in the other extreme. You know, everything they have to do very slowly. I can walk about maybe 300 meters. They, you know, far from them. Even we start at the same time. But anyway, I think Master know that I'm too fast and too fast. That's why she wanted me to cultivate, you know, understanding, cultivate, you know, acceptance and all those things. So for many years, for 5 years down the road, I really learn a lot. I think my changes over the past 5 years, how I face my challenges is because I Xun Fa Xiang. I think Xun Fa Xiang has changed me, without my notice, slowly, and from a very fast-tempered, fast-working, I learned how to accept other people's being slower and not so efficient. So every time when I go, every year I would accompany Sri Lankan volunteer in batches to go back to Taiwan. And then every time other people look at me and say, "You are very sinful," because for them to work, like we all Chinese and we all work very fast. Even like in a camp, we wake up, maybe there's only half an hour for us to prepare. But for them, half an hour is not enough. They take longer time. And then I think because of their pace, I have to learn to tolerate. I have to learn to accept. I have to learn to slow down my pace to so that I can work with them. Yeah. So these are many things that which I and then I also very appreciate Master always give me encouragement. In a camp this year, I heard a brother say, "Master love her disciple. It's not that like she has 3 disciples. She loved them. She loved 100%. It's not 30, 35, 35, 35. It's everyone is 100%. So for me, I think if a master want me to go to Sri Lanka, and then those Sri Lanka volunteer are master disciple, so I have to love them also 100%. And master love them 100%. I also love them 100%. So I have to really learn how to work with them. And over the time, I hope that one day I can be, I can inspire more volunteer in Sri Lanka to help the local people. And because Sri Lanka is quite a poor country, there are a lot of people that need help. And so that master always very concerned about Sri Lanka. She always mentioned about Sri Lanka, and when she mentioned about Sri Lanka, she mentioned me and Sister Lisa. So actually, I would say it is a blessing from Master, and also I feel very thankful Master to give me this opportunity to or this fortune field for me to work on it. I will work hard and smart and diligently to make sure that to hopefully one day they can be independent. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We have another sisters. She actually is first time. She's still Jianxi practitioner commissioning. She is actually very courageous to come forward to share her experience in being the 流程组协调. That means the coordinator for the scholarship award ceremony that is going to hold this afternoon. But she has been working very hard for the past few weeks. Let's have her to share with us.
Okay, yeah. 分享设备。台湾这边捐。台中的，在台中的。
可以了吗 Okay, good morning, brothers and sisters. Hi, morning. I'm Hui Ping from Tzu Chi, Singapore. A very short introduction about myself. I've just joined Tzu Chi back in July 2017. So I'm barely 1 year plus old. So I beg your pardon if I don't use the right terminologies. For the past 1 year and three months, I have the privilege to experience and participate in many different events organized by Tzu Chi. So today I'll be sharing my learning points from participating as a member of the event team in planning for the Seed of Hope Award presentation ceremony, which is held annually in Singapore to students, children, and tertiary students, scholarship as well as bursary awards. Actually, the entire experience for me, there's only one word for to describe my whole experience so far, and that's 赞叹. It's amazing. Why do I say that? The team only got together on 7th November this year, which if you look at it, is only 3 weeks ago. So I thought when I was asked to participate, it would be, just go through the protocols and then go through what had happened in the previous year. Not much change, so it should be quite smooth and easy. Behold the Tzu Chi, Tzu Chi spirit of doing things. And why do I say that? One thing I learned very much is that this idea of, it is not about the event. It is not about the program that Tzu Chi wants to do. It is always about the beneficiary, the people whom we are privileged to touch base on. It is always about their needs, their wants, and to engage them purposefully and meaningfully. Why do I say that? Previous year, the award presentation was about the recipient coming to the award presentation ceremony, and after which we will just share what the Tzu Chi, we share what we do, and then we present the award, and then that's it. They will go. But the team got together 3 weeks ago, and we sat down and think. We were led by Sister Kai Mei. She really put in a lot of effort and thought into this opportunity. And why do I use the word opportunity? It is actually an opportunity for us to let people know what we are about, and let our beneficiary understand, the recipient understand why we do what we do, and not just that, why they should do what they need to do. So it will be a meaningful engagement. We want them to have takeaways, takeaways that are meaningful and value adding to themselves. So we started the meeting once, and then after subsequently the whole plan shifted, whereby from a very didactic award presentation, now we went 3 ways so that we can really engage the different recipient. To give a context, we have recipients from primary school. These are children between below 12 years old, all right, 7 to 12 years old. A second group of recipients are secondary school students. They are children between 13 to 16 years old. And then we have tertiary tertiary students who are above 18 years old, above 18 years old. So the team leader actually saw that we can't do a award whereby one size fits all. It needs to be engaging for the different groups so that they can have different takeaways. Then we have a fourth group. What's the fourth group? The fourth group is actually the parents. So if we were to have a session that is aimed at the children, then parents will not be engaged, nothing to take away. If you have a session where it talks to the parents, then the children won't be engaged. So we deliberated very much. So 赞叹, amazement. So 3 weeks we started the journey. About 2.5 weeks before, we changed the plan. Instead of having a one-size-fits-all award ceremony, we decided to have a breakout session where we invite speakers to speak with different objectives for the various target audience. And all this happened while a huge number of our existing Tzu Chi seniors went back to Taiwan to 受证. So we don't have the people, we don't have the, there's a lot of uncertainty. But because I think it's only because, only Tzu Chi can do this, where 菩萨会涌现. The Bodhisattva will appear and take on the responsibility. So the plan started. We actually decided what we want to do without knowing who will appear. But the Buddha, the Bodhisattva appeared. And that got me to think, it is always a team effort. We talk about Master Cheng Yen saying, do not underestimate yourself. Everyone, it is a team effort,互爱协力. In this past 3 weeks, that's exactly what I saw. We will take on the different roles regardless of what, who, and how many years of experience you have in Tzu Chi. It is always about doing things to make sure it is 尽善尽美, which is to the perfection or to what we can. And we talk about not doing things for the sake of doing things, and we are constantly looking at making 突破, which is we want to do things even if it's not something that had been done before. And all this is because we want to make a difference and to make it meaningful to all whom we have the privilege to make connection. Connection with. Okay. And in the entire team, we take on different perspectives to ensure that we do not to help each other out to maximize the outcome, and we try to help each other by taking on different roles and different hats and playing different hats. And that brings me to my third point in my experience so far, my third point, which is what Master Cheng Yen said. Do not underestimate yourself. Everyone has unlimited potential in this entire journey, and that's what I saw. We want to make sure that everybody's input is critical and important. It cannot happen with one. It can only happen with all. And it is about 把握当下. We seize the day, we seize the opportunity, so that we will make good of this. We'll make good for everybody involved. And at the end of the day, everyone benefited. I benefited very much from the learning. I'm very privileged and I'm very thankful to all the sisters, 同仁, volunteers, because it all can only happen when we give it all, which is something that I'm still 赞叹, ing, yeah, still in the motion. Okay, with that, I end my sharing. All right, thank you, brothers and sisters. 感恩.
Yeah, thank you, Sister Hui Ping. Actually, as per the Lotus Sutra 15 chapters, 菩萨涌现 means that the Bodhisattva submerged from the ground when there's in it. So actually today's session is actually meant for two sharers, that is Sister Su Yan and myself. But because Brother Yu Ping was engaged with Master, so last minute we have all these Bodhisattva submerged from the ground to do sharing, and they are so spontaneously come forward. Really thanks to them. So I think with that we end the sharing from Singapore. I'll pass the host to Sister Lily. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for the wonderful sharings from Singapore team. Really a lot of insights and very moving, very touching. Okay, let us try to get a Sister Huang Shifu to give some comment. Master De Huang.
Okay. Hi, good morning. Is everyone can hear the sound from abroad?
Yes, loud and clear. The Huang Sư
Okay. Sorry because my PC computer which is doesn't show off the video and try to use my cell phone to say. First of all, thank you for few of the sisters who give us a sharing just now. Actually, just now one of the sisters, Shi Yi, Ying she say she back to abroad and try to learn how to plant in the farm, and it's just like Master Jing's aphorism be mentioned. There's a one aphorism saying weeds does not easily grow on the field plant with vegetables. Evil does not easily harbor in the heart. 这是在地上种的菜就不容易长草，心中有善就不容易生恶。I try to use my Chinese to give a further definition about this English. So I think yeah we actually put after listening to Dharma after we Shifa Xiang and then I can hear the sister who's sharing they already really take master teaching into their living experience and in the living styles. And like Cui Lian Shijie, she also say, for me, she's been couple of years in the couple of years in the Sri Lanka to help our Tzu Chi mission. And I think because I think that it's just like she already take master commission as her own mission, and she really put her effort to try to help the Sri Lankan volunteer who can become more independent. I think this is not easy because it take time. Yeah. So, and of course, for just now, one of the first sister, also from Singapore, who went to the Philippines to help the patient who are not confident and never thought that she can stand up one day. Who knows? The amazing came to her, and it's not a dream. And I think this is if there's not a Bodhisattva who can do that, just like yeah, I think this is a beautiful word in the Tzu Chi. So I think because there's 1 minute left, I think I pass this to our sister Xiaojing. And I try to invite more people to come. Actually, just now at the abroad, we have 5 of us, 3 masters and 2 sister, Dharma sister. But now just left one master, this is me, and the 2 of them have a duty, so they left first. So this is my sharing for feedback for the sharing from the sister. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Master the Huang Sifu for the sharing. Okay, wonderful sharing from Singapore team. 5 sharers: Sister Jane, Sister Xiu Yuan, Sister Xu Yin, Sister Cui Lian, Sister Hui Ping. 感恩 so much for the wonderful sharing. Okay, now it's almost 8. Let's do the closing. Okay. 感恩 everyone for lots of heartfelt and wisdom sharing. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for the presence today. Hope that each of us could sustain the Dharma joy and take in another piece of Masters and Hualien love to our life. Let us please make 3 vows to the Buddha and Master Cheng as we depart to apply this teaching in our daily lives. Let us pay our respects to our teachers of life's universal truth. Palms together. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. And a bow to our beloved Shifu who could join us today. 感恩 everyone. 感恩. See you again
And
next week.
everyone,
感恩.
you bye bye. 哎，你们可以。
Bye.